Hi everyone, this is Lily,
This is Vidia,
and welcome to Girls
Grace,
and
and
Giggles.
Giggles.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode. We're episode 16 now of Girls, Grace, and Giggles. And today I think we're going to do something that we haven't done before. It's a bit of an interesting kind of quirky experiment,
And
if
it's
you
an
will.
episode where we don't talk about ourselves.
Yeah, finally. Goodness gracious. You've probably heard enough about that. So this episode is titled AITA, which is an acronym that stands for Am I the Asshole?
If you're on Reddit a lot, you probably have heard this.
So there's a lot of Reddit posts of individuals kind of sharing their stories and then getting the general consensus of the internet. I don't know if that's wise or not, to kind of determine if they are in fact the asshole or not. And I thought it'd be interesting to kind of talk about some of the stories that I've read and I just like pulled up under the theme of Asian families.
Ooh.
So family dynamics and family communication styles and family finances and family values, all of these things that inform us as we're growing up through like the Asian kind of family lens.
Is it Asian families in North America context?
That's a good question. I don't know. I presume so, but on Reddit, everything is pretty anonymous. So they just kind of give you the outline of the story. So they don't specify like where they're coming from. And so, I just thought it would be interesting to kind of examine Asian culture and how that influences our upbringing and our decisions and our values. And it's interesting to kind of see the clash, not only with like other cultures and the Asian culture, but also just in the same culture, but like generationally, how that's different, like between parents and children. So I pulled up a few stories that I'm just going to read, and I'm happy to link the stories in our description later so you guys can have your own thoughts about it. And I'll kind of paraphrase a bit if it gets too lengthy, but generally we'll just read the story and then we'll hear, we'll talk about it with Vidia about what kind of thoughts or topics this brings up. And then I guess we'll render judgment if we believe this person is an asshole or not.
If they're TA?
Yeah, TA.
Or so NTA.
The asshole or NTA, not the asshole. All right. Okay, so first off, the first one is talking about communication between parents and children. So AITA for telling my Asian mom, lady in her 50s, female, that she needs to reflect more before advising me 24 female. So I 24 female come from an Asian family where elders are deeply respected. Yesterday, though, I had a thought-provoking chat with my mom, 50s, female, while discussing some family issues. I brought up my uncle, who often lectures about how my siblings and I should live our lives or run our businesses. But when I probe further or ask him for nuance, he dismisses it as something we should just, quote, figure out. In contrast, my aunt provides guidance stemming from experience. She can explain the how and why behind her advice. And I appreciate that she has truly contemplated her position and always helps guide me from a place of true knowledge. However, here is where the conflict started. I then used this example with my uncle to illustrate that sometimes my mom offers advice without concrete reasoning to back it up. Her advice often stems from seeing what others are doing or on the news, and that I should do it because it's, quote, for my own good. Because of this, she rarely responds to my how and why questions. I told my mom that I mean no disrespect, but I would take her counsel to heart even more if she provided clarity on the reasoning and purpose behind her guidance, rather than just saying I should follow it blindly. Unfortunately, this offended her. She said she'll take what I say to heart, and that from now on, she doesn't think she can advise me on anything without having to think miles ahead before talking to me at all, otherwise she'll lose all credibility. And she left, etc. I generalized that words spoken should have value, and if we kept speaking randomly, there's no accountability whatsoever, and it won't be valued. And she then left the chat frustrated. And when I tried to approach this respectfully, she felt disrespected and thinks I overstepped my role. I understand this perspective given our cultural background, but I struggle with simply nodding along to advice that seems flawed or unsupported now that as an adult, and then being blamed for what I could have done based on their advice from years ago. I prefer growth through thoughtful counsel, even if that means hard conversations. So, what do you think? Am I actually ignorant despite my intentions? Or can I thoughtfully press for meaningful guidance even from elders? Where is the line?
Hmm.
And so that is the very lengthy quote, or not quote, a story from this person, from OP. And so, yeah, I think this is a very common
Communication issue.
communication issue and dynamic that we have in Asian family
Mm-hmm.
households. So, what do you think, Vidya? NTA or TA?
I want to say NTA.
Mm-hmm.
I commended this person for speaking up
Mm-hmm.
about, their thoughts on what good communication should be or what good advice
Yeah.
should entail. But I also understand why the mother felt disrespected because
Mm-hmm.
I think in Asian family contexts,
Yeah.
there's that hierarchy,
Yeah.
right? To be like, I'm the elder, you listen to me because I've experienced a lot more things than you. And
Just listen to what I
yeah,
say.
just listen to us. And this is good advice, take it kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah.
Um, so I can kind of see it from both
Right.
sides.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't think the person is a TA.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think I agree with you. I think NTA, but at the same time, I don't feel like the way she went about it would prompt any change from her mom. So, I don't think that, like, it would lead to having a revolutionized change in communications
Yeah.
because I yeah, I think personally, like, I don't think that was the way to go about it with her mom, because I think, first of all, it depends on where the relationship is coming from. Like, what is their dynamic between her and her mom? Like, are
Mm,
they very open in communication? Are they open to sharing? Like, or are they able to communicate on a deeper level? Or is it very much just like hierarchical, like, daughter,
mm,
listen to me as your mother kind of
yeah.
thing? And so, if it's the latter, where it's very hierarchical, then by her asking for more probing questions of like, oh, why are you giving me this advice, or
Mm-hmm.
like, what is the rationale behind your thought process? Like, I don't think that would be that would translate
Okay.
very
So are you saying she shouldn't have
productively.
said anything to the mom and just like accepted whatever she told her?
I think that is one way, but I think I would have not I think I would have approached it a bit differently. I think I would have been like, okay, like, I take what you're saying, like, I
Mm,
take your advice, but like, explain from her perspective, like, I don't like how this is different, how this would translate differently in her life, because her background and what she's grown up in is different from her mom. So kind of
yeah.
like make her mom see like
The bigger
where
picture.
she's coming from
Oh,
with the
okay.
advice and how it might not actually translate. So it can be like, I know that maybe for you, if you were growing up in I don't know, I don't think they mentioned like which country, or like they
Mm,
just said Asian in general. So I'm just like, yeah, so insert Asian name country here. But like, growing up in country X, it might have been really different, and I understand that. And maybe this advice has gotten you through a lot of hard times. But like, the same advice, if I apply it to
mm-hmm.
my life currently, like, I don't know how I can do that in this context.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of explain, like, I don't know how to do that. And
Mm,
then maybe by her saying, I don't know how to do that, her mom would then elaborate. So then
okay.
it would get her to the goal of wanting her mom to elaborate without asking her mom to directly elaborate.
I
Does that
see.
make sense?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
kind of like
That's really good.
a more
That's a
roundabout
good
way.
strategy.
Yeah.
Because
I wonder how I know this. Is
from
it from
experience.
experience or not? Yeah. Yeah.
Because my first reaction, this is really bad because I'm like, well, you know how Asian parents,
They just never
they,
change.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
You read my
There is
mind.
that too.
So I'm like, well, maybe just like hear her out
And then just
and
do your
then
own thing.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
basically. I
yeah.
mean, you can kind of probe so that the mom can kind of see the flaws in their own um
Mm,
advice,
Yeah.
to be like, oh, then what do you think the avenues for me to do that? Like, can you share some examples? And then maybe
Yeah.
when she can't do that, then she's like, okay, I guess that's the end of the conversation.
Well, the thing is, I feel like if we do that, then there is always the ego to go up against, because it feels as though you're challenging me in my advice,
Authority.
in my authority. It's like, oh, you dare ask questions, like you dare like question my advice. I feel like there is that kind of ego that and pride
Yeah.
that we have to deal with. And then if they can't actually come up with anything substantive,
Yeah.
then they'll look bad. Then they'll be like, oh, you like embarrass me. I mean, unknowingly, because the daughter is just maybe very objectively just asking a follow-up question.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I think the way they take it would be very personal and very like
right. Wow, you really
like
know Asian
judgmental.
parents.
Girl, takes well,
I think what I shared is like an avoidant kind of
yeah.
strategy.
Well, I mean,
which
not to
is
say that
bad.
I don't do that either. I do that as well, because sometimes I'm just like, this is a dead horse. Like, there's no point to beat
Yeah.
this dead horse. Like, there are some battles that you just have to accept that you've lost. Like, it's just there's no changing.
Yeah, but I like your suggestion because
Yeah.
it's more of an open communication style.
Yeah, I feel
and
like you
more
have
implied.
you have to go about it in a very like roundabout
strategic
way.
strategic kind of way.
Because I don't think that Asian parents respond well to like
confrontation
or like direct attack. You have to like, because there is something about being like more subtle and being more like reading between the lines, and like that is also very much part of the culture. So
yeah.
you have to kind of like quote unquote speak their language, right? Like do like a Jedi mind trick on them to like to get them to actually share what they actually want to say. And I feel like in that way, then it's an actual conversation and not just like my telling you what to do and you just like receiving it.
Yeah.
Because in the end of the day, like I think most people would want a good relationship with their parents.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we really want that, then we have to like actually try to make that happen in a like just like put the communication skills to work.
This is intercultural communication.
Truly, and also intergenerational.
That's
too,
right.
I think.
That's right. Yeah.
And it's funny because I think I see like in the few times that I go back to China and like with my parents and such, and like right now my only surviving grandparent is my grandmother from my dad's side, so my dad's mom. And seeing how he interacts with his mom, my grandmother, is very interesting because he's like the child, right? He's the son in this scenario and not the parent. And it's very strange because he uses all these like quote unquote techniques to like deal with an old person.
Okay.
To deal with like a literally like a senior citizen. She's like in her 90s. And so it's very much just like coddling her and just like babying her and just like saying the same things over and over again so that she feels like she's heard, or just like sitting there and like just offering her companionship.
Yeah.
And it's very much just like, okay, like I'm just gonna like meet you where you are so that you can feel that I'm here, that I'm present. So in the same way, I just feel like, like when we're the child, sometimes we have to do that to our parents.
I was gonna say that, like,
you know?
I think we have to be the one that meets our parents where they are.
Yeah, exactly. Like we have to, we're the, like we have to be more
flexible.
The quote unquote sophisticated party to be like meet them where they are, because they're older, like by default, right? And so I think it's good to give them grace because what can you do? Like you have to meet them where they are. They're not going to be able to keep up with all these like latest terms and like, oh, communication styles, you have to be open and like vulnerable and like, you know, what's your MBTI and your love language and all that stuff. It's like these are things that we're learning just now.
Yeah.
Right? So I think even for us it's difficult to kind of nurse these new skill sets. So never mind someone who's like, you know, 30 plus years older than you, who's like gone through all these things. Like I think to have some grace for that is something that's probably like quite underrated but necessary. Yeah,
great suggestion.
Yeah. So I guess the conclusion is NTA.
NTA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Well, then, moving on to scenario number 2. AITA for trying to prevent my parents from inviting their friends to my wedding.
This
Okay.
must be relatable for a lot of
This
people.
I think it is. So and
Uh,
I already feel the stress coming on from this question. So maybe there should be like a trigger warning or something. Anyhow, okay, so my fiance, 29 male, and I, 27 female, are currently trying to navigate the wedding planning process with my immigrant Chinese parents. All right, so now we know it's immigrant Chinese parents. Okay. Both sides of parents sat down for a meal to discuss their expectations for the wedding, if we wanted traditional or Western, and they were all very chill. However, since my parents don't have much experience with weddings in America, they were fine with whatever we decided to do, or so they said. Dot dot dot. Okay. The venues we were looking at have a max of 200 guests, and my fiance has a really big family, about 80 people, and that's after reducing the number. And my family is pretty small, around 20 people. We're both invited 20 guests, 20 of our closest friends and their plus ones, so about 80 friends in total. And now my fiance's parents have also invited some of their friends, but only the ones that know him, about 15. My parents, on the other hand, have made a list of 80 of their friends. I probably know only like 4 of them, but my parents think it's unreasonable for me to only let them invite their friends that I know, since I don't want a bunch of strangers at my wedding. My parents say that I can get to know them at the wedding so they no longer will be strangers, and that they mean well.
nice try.
I told them the venue has a limit of 200 and they're going to have to greatly cut down their number of friends. But they say it's unfair because my fiance is inviting so much more family and not being accommodating for his friends. And my parents are also paying for the wedding, and it should be fair, they say, that they also get to say who is invited. It's not like his family, like the fiance's family, is so much bigger than mine, but bruh, it's our wedding, not my parents' wedding. Especially because I know that their friends are really loud and obnoxious. I told them to cut down the number, which they agreed to do, but there's still literally more than how many my friends that I would invite myself. I was expecting around 15, which would be over the 200 limit, but at least it's something we can work with. At this point, I'd rather just invite acquaintances that I don't even know, just to fill up the space so that my parents will stop inviting strangers.
Oh.
So the update is that the fiance is footing the entire bill. So not their parents, not
Oh,
the
okay.
OP's parents. So I know there are cultural differences, but at what point is this not just an asshole culture? My fiance makes a lot of money, so he doesn't want to have a wedding registry, and instead he's opting just to ask people to donate money to help victims of sex trafficking and human trafficking. My parents, however, find this to be a bad and weird thing and have been fighting me over it, and um, having a charity as my wedding registry. So I don't know what to do.
Mm.
Am I the asshole? Well,
Ooh,
whew,
that's a lot of
that's a lot.
a lot of
So,
opposing views
yeah, there
from
are
the
like
parents.
3 things here. So number 1 is like obviously the guest max number and like inviting the friends and whatnot. Number 2 is like footing the entire bill, and number 3 is the charity
Yeah,
registry,
the registry.
instead of being a like a gifts registry.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we can just break it down into these 3 things. But overall, generally, what do you think of this story? Is she like AITA, TA, or NTA?
NTA.
Yeah, I would agree. I think your parents are probably the TA here.
Maybe the parents have posted something on Reddit.
Yeah, I think but I also feel like this is also very typical Chinese, so I'm not surprised in the least about this.
Yeah.
So
Especially when
kinda
they're
bad.
the ones paying, then I can see why they want to
Yeah,
have a
but
say
now they're
in who
not
they
paying.
invited. Yeah.
So now because they're not paying, I think that does change the dynamic a bit.
Yeah.
But okay, so let's just break it down. First, it's like the max, like the
Number of
gift,
guests.
the number of guests that they're inviting. So I think maybe as a like preliminary like backstory or preamble, maybe disclaimer. I don't even know if it's disclaimer, but anyway, some context. Like I think in Asian families, or it's the wedding is very much like a celebration of two families coming together.
Mm-hmm.
And so inviting like these aunties and uncles is basically like par for the course.
Yeah,
It's kind of to
it's
be
unavoidable.
expected and yeah, it's literally unavoidable.
If the parents are the ones paying, right?
Yes, and also not even if they're not paying.
Ugh.
Because the idea is that like yes, you are the bride and groom, that is supposed to be your day, but me as the parents, like I birthed you, I like gave you life,
Yeah.
I brought you up in this world, and so now it's your moment, so I need to also, it's also my moment.
Yeah.
Because it's my daughter,
I need to
or
celebrate
my
it
son
with my friends.
Yeah. And it's also like a point of like, you know, social clout. Like, oh, like look at
my
me.
new son.
Voila, exactly. Like look at this, look at this great match. And it's a lot of like status things, you know, it's a lot of like underlying like, oh, this, my daughter's a lawyer and she married a doctor, like, oh, like this is like, oh, or he like is in finance, he makes like over 200K a year, like all that kind of like who is who in the who's who of everything. Like it's like Crazy Rich Asians, but like toned down in like the typical everyday Asian family. But like it's kind of like that. And so I'm like, yeah, the wedding is not so much only a celebration of the bride and groom, but it's also like a chance for the parents to like
That's right.
like
Yeah.
boast and show off their children, basically. So I think the parents' action in wanting to invite their friends is like very normal in Asian culture. But here, you know, they mention America and they mention immigrant Chinese parents, so it seems as though they're like first gen immigrants, sorry,
for the parents.
And so I think this is quite normal.
Yeah.
Although it's not. It's just like it kind of clashes with the values, you know, like of what a wedding symbolizes, maybe in
North America.
Yeah, or like Western culture in general. Yeah. So what would you say for the 80 plus guests that the parents want to invite?
I think if her parents are paying, unfortunately you don't really have a lot of say.
Yeah.
Like you just really have to accept it.
Yeah.
But if
find a bigger venue.
Yeah, unfortunately, because you really like you don't have a case, unfortunately.
Right, because you're just like, well, if you're not the one footing the bill, then you have no say.
Exactly. Yeah. But now,
despite it being their wedding.
Yes. That's just a fact that you just have to accept, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But if it's, I mean, apparently the fiance is now footing the entire bill, so I think now they can have more say in who they get to invite. But I don't think that means completely not having the parents' friends invited at all. I think some friends should still be invited, but maybe not like 80 people. Yeah. What do you think?
I think this is a very typical and / common problem that I see in a lot of my friends' weddings and whatnot. So there are like two solutions that I see that have been like generally, I think, a good compromise for both sides. Number one is having a smaller venue, and by default you have to cut down on everything. So that is like, instead of, let's say, having like a 200-person venue, you have like a 100-person venue, or like something smaller, so then they're forced to like cut down. The other compromise option is you have your own wedding as you so choose, and then you have a separate banquet thingy just for all the aunties and uncles and all that stuff. And then it will be like their version, like, so the parents will feel like, oh, this is the real, quote unquote, real wedding. And I've seen that happen for both.
Oh, wow.
And so
but then they have to pay for their own wedding, like their real own wedding,
like their own wedding, they will have to probably pay. And then the banquet, let's say at a nice Chinese restaurant, you know, you have like maybe 5-10 tables of like the parents' friends and family and extended relatives and whatnot, and then the bride and groom will dress in like more traditional like Chinese clothing, and then they'll go around to each table and, you know, like cheers everybody, and like maybe dad will make a
it's kind of like a show.
Yeah. But I mean, the wedding by default is kind of a spectacle, so it's kind of a show, I guess. And then even the third alternative is that they have the Western, quote unquote, style wedding here in the North America, and then they go back to their homeland or go back to China, and then they have like their own like Asian style wedding in China.
Yeah.
And so either way, like I've seen that, or all, I guess I gave 3 options, but I've seen all of those play out in my community. So it's kind of like a take your pick kind
I
of thing.
see. Yeah.
Because I feel as though the parents, like the role that the parents think they have in Asian cultures for weddings is so much more than the role that they have in like Western weddings.
Oh yeah.
Because like Western weddings, they're just like, yeah, the bride, the groom, that's the star of the show, you know. And you know, more importantly, it's the bride. Like everybody just cares about the bride. The groom, like, okay, lucky you, you know. but it's the bride. And but I think in Asian culture, the parents will be like, oh, but it's my daughter.
Yeah.
Its emphasis is like the role is like, you're my daughter. You're not like the bride. You're my daughter. You know,
it's
like,
a marriage
that distinction
of 2 families as well.
Yeah. I think there is that kind of definitely like that cultural aspect to consider.
I guess in Asian marriages or Asian weddings, it's like, oh, it's the get together between 2 families. Like now we are one big family, but in Western weddings, it's like, oh, I'm like sending off
I'm
my
sending
children
you off to create your own family.
Yeah. It's like, okay, now you're on your own.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're not one of us. You're like on your own. Yeah. All right. So then the next section is like the footing the bill. I think we kind of talked about it a bit.
Yeah.
But like, how would you think the dynamic would be if, let's say, the husband side of the family, like they go halvesies, half.
Oh.
So then, so I'm just trying to gauge like at what point do you think the parents of the daughter is like overstepping their bounds when like money is involved?
Half as in the other half is being paid by the parents or the bride?
I don't know. Does that make difference? Like, okay, let's say if half is being paid by the parents, the bride parents, and half is being paid by the groom's parents.
I think maybe there's a case there, because then you can say, well, we're only paying half of the entire cost, so we can't take up more than half of the guest number.
Okay.
I don't know.
But then they'll be like, but I'm paying half, so I have the right to have what I want.
Half of the number?
Yeah.
And not share it with the actual bride's friends?
Yeah. Whatever. Because the bride will be like,
then maybe just pay for the other half yourself so that you can have more say.
So you're saying like, unless they have the ability to pay the full bill, they aren't able to, like,
I think so,
have their own opinion about it.
At least if I were to put myself in the bride shoes, like I would feel a bit bad for dictating the guest list if I weren't the one paying. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
but then again, it's like the argument is that it's your wedding, right? Like you're the special person.
Yeah. But if your parents are very traditional Asians, I think they would feel like, well, I'm the one paying, so I kind of have a say in this. But I don't know. I'm very not knowledgeable.
So what if the bride wants to pay, but the parents are like, no, we'll pay.
Oh gosh.
Right? I think sometimes it is like that too, where the bride and groom have their own funds and they wish to pay for their own wedding, but the parents are like, no, like we want to start you guys off on the right foot, like you should save money for a house or whatever. And so they in goodwill, they want to pay for the wedding.
Yeah.
But
by in return,
paying, they have the say in the
What
wedding.
do you think?
I think that I would go with the option I mentioned before. Like I would have my own thing the way I want it.
Wow.
And pay my own thing.
That's a lot of work.
And then have like a separate like meal like at like a Chinese restaurant and like have my parents just like, hey, you want to go hard on that? You do you, boo boo. Like you do the whole thing. You set up everything.
I think one of my friends had their engagement paid. So my friend is the bride, or was the bride. So her parents were the ones paying for the engagement, and it was like a big party. It felt like a wedding, but it was a big party, basically kind of for the parents to invite their friends.
Yes.
So instead of having 2 different weddings, then they just agreed on, okay,
They
then
did a big thing for
the engagement, and then
right.
the wedding would be the groom's parents who paid. So it kind of appeased both sides of the family. Yeah.
Great.
So
and
you don't have to have two separate weddings.
That's a good alternative too. Like having a big engagement party instead of a wedding. Yeah. No. And I think engagement there is like more of a bigger deal, because engagement is usually the time where like both parents meet and like meet for the first time, like officially, you know, to discuss like, okay, how are we gonna do this and all that stuff. Like there's usually like an engagement dinner, right?
And that's like a very parents would give the bride like a bunch of jewelry,
like a dowry
goodies.
Or oh wait no, dowry is, I always mix this up. Dowry is like when the bride side gives something to the groom side, right? For the but the
I'm so not knowledgeable in this department.
I don't have the terms. Okay, well, I should have.
Maybe we'll know more when we both are getting married or something.
Yeah, well, that'll be the day. Okay. Okay, and the last bit is about the wedding registry. So having the charity for helping victims with of human trafficking and sex trafficking, instead of having like a money registry or like a gifts registry. So the parents are saying this is very bad / weird and don't want that. So thoughts?
I would just stand my ground.
Right.
Because why not?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a very noble thing that they're doing. And like, because typically speaking, like having a gifts registry or like a wedding registry, you try to like make back some of the money that you spent for the wedding, right? Like whether to the venue or to the catering or to the whatever. And like it should usually, like if you're good, then it will like you will net out, right? And you will not have so much that you spent. Of course there's like many other expenses already, so you're like gonna sink money in this regardless. Weddings are expensive. Okay. But having a charity is like, oh, you're completely giving all the funds that you would have received yourself completely out, and so whatever you're spending on the wedding, you're not gonna quote unquote like make anything back. So I think it's a very noble thing to do. But I also think that I understand why the Asian parents are very like reluctant about this. Not necessarily because it's a charity. I think it's more because of the cause. The fact that it's like helping victims of human trafficking and sex trafficking.
Oh.
Yeah. I think it's because it's taboo.
So you think if it were a different cause, let's say
I think they would be
world hunger.
Or like the World Wildlife Fund or whatever. Yeah, like earthquake, water, clean water
victims or
something like that. I think they would be less
interesting
antagonistic towards it. I think it's the subject matter or the cause.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I think
because you're trying to like it would be like not 不吉利, you know, like not very
not auspicious.
Whoa,
ooh,
look at that. Hold on, video. Okay, like IELTS 12.
Yes.
Like what is this? So I think that it's it may be considered not auspicious. But I could be reading into it. But I would just be like, oh, I think it would be like, oh, you're set out to have this beautiful marriage and a beautiful wedding and start of your lives, and then you have this like sex trafficking thing. It seems like it's kind of
bad luck.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, not to say that they don't care about sex trafficking or human trafficking. That's not the point.
Why do you do it on your wedding day?
But I think it's the timing of it seems like it's misplaced. So maybe, or it could be like, let's say they're just against charity in general. Or,
I wonder if it's helpful for them to let the parents know how much money they raise, and maybe that will change their mind or kind of
maybe.
At least
I don't know. I'm not
soften the disagreement. But that is an interesting registry.
I think it's because of the auspiciousness or the lack of or that it's not auspicious. So that they're like, no, this is very taboo for like for the beginning of
I see.
This and that. I can see how it will be. But I do applaud them for doing that. That's a wonderful thing that they're doing. Like most people don't, and so good on them for doing that.
Nice.
I wish there was like an update about like how the wedding actually went, but all the update was that like the fiance was footing the bill. So anyhow, So
do you think that's why the fiance was footing the bill? Because they got frustrated.
You know what? I think it could
Right?
be. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably a
What
likely
happened?
reason.
Yeah.
And she also mentioned that he's pretty well off, so then he's
Oh,
able
right.
to, support
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, okay.
All right.
Next
Well, one.
On the topic of weddings, it's also about family dynamics. Between excuse me, not just with the parents, but with like the peers, what am I saying? Like
The family members,
brothers-in-law, sisters-in-law, things like that.
Yeah.
So AITA, for talking my family out of giving my future sister-in-law our traditional wedding gift and risk being uninvited. Dum dum dum. Okay, so my family is Asian while my future sister-in-law is white. I don't have a problem with interracial relationships as we have several members of our extended family who married other races. In fact, I'm currently in a serious relationship with a woman who's also white. My girlfriend is wonderful and loves trying new things that my culture has to offer. Some things she loves, other things she likes, and others she downright hates. The main point is that she tries them, whether it's music, food, traditions, etc. However, my future sister-in-law is the complete opposite. She rarely comes to family dinner because she doesn't like the smell of our food. She doesn't join our celebrations because it's so different. For example, Lunar New Year is a huge celebration, and she calls it a fake New Year, and we just made up to party. Okay, rude. She and my brother are having their wedding soon, and surprise, she doesn't want any of our culture in it. It got to the point that my parents almost refused to go.
Go to the wedding?
To go to the wedding of this person's brother. We had to have a huge sit down to smooth things over, and I was actually on my brother's side, even though I was so annoyed by my sister-in-law. I told my parents it is their wedding and we should stay out of the planning. Huh. See, if this person spoke to the people in our previous example, maybe things would have, panned out. Anyhow, the trouble started when my girlfriend and I took our parents out for my mom's birthday. My girlfriend commented on my mom's necklace, to which my mom answered that she already picked out the style for my girlfriend's jewelry set when we get married. In our tradition, the family of the groom gifts their new daughter-in-law a necklace, earrings, and other pieces of jewelry during the morning event on the wedding day. This usually costs about $40,000 to $50,000 in my family tradition. Whew. Ooh. Nice. Usually because it's gold, right? It's like gold necklace, earring, bracelet, things like that. So my girlfriend, like the white one, right, was honored and asked if my mom picked one out for my sister-in-law since their wedding was coming up. My mom said no, and that she was going to meet with the jeweler soon to see what they have to offer. I spoke up and asked why they're going through with this one tradition when the sister-in-law forbade all other traditions. I said I wasn't chipping in and suggested gifting her a toaster. And last night, my brother calls me screaming with my sister-in-law yelling in the background. Apparently, our parents told them we're not keeping the one tradition that will cost us $40,000 to $50,000. My brother called me an asshole and told me that unless I and my parents follow through on the jewelry, we are uninvited. So am I the asshole for following my sister-in-law's lead in keeping our traditions out of their wedding? Oh.
Ooh, tricky.
Dum, dum, dum.
I just want to say it sounds like the future sister-in-law is cherry picking the culture thing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I don't want all these things, but hey, gold jewelry, 40, 50K, I want that. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So AITA, TA or NTA? What do you think?
NTA. Although I can see why she's in a bad place, for like asking that specific question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that got the mother thinking, right? To be like, why am I doing this?
Why am I gifting my future daughter-in-law this precious gift without her accepting other parts of our culture that she's very against?
Yeah. NTA for me, but maybe the future sister-in-law is the TA. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think I'm agreeing with you too, because I feel as though she is kind of cherry picking what she wants and what she doesn't want, but it's more the attitude of not willing to try. So when the OP was saying that his girlfriend is open to trying everything, and then she likes some things, she doesn't like some things, but the fact that she's trying is more of an attitude thing. But how, his brother's girlfriend or future sister-in-law is completely like not willing to try things and kind of talks down to it. I'm just like, I think it's an attitude issue.
And
it's
confronts like the person for, not being able to get the jewelries, and like threatening them as well, that you're not going to get invited if you don't get me those jewelries. So it's like, it's clear what her motives are.
Right.
So
maybe this will give the brother pause to see if he wants to go through with this wedding. I mean, hey, it's never too late until you say I do. So
I think in that post it says that the brother isn't very, it's not the type of guy that can stand up for himself or something. If I remember correctly.
Well then, yes. So I think there's that. Maybe the sister-in-law is the one that's, wearing the pants and guiding the relationship. So it doesn't sound like it will be good for family harmony, in
it
the
also
future.
Says, again, if I remember correctly, that was the first time the brother ever does something confrontational.
So this is not this is why it really shocked him.
This is all the future sister-in-law's doing. So I think she's the TA.
So I think later on people were saying in the comments that she is the TA, and she seems kind of racist with the comments about the Lunar New Year just being a fake party, a fake New Year so that you can party. I'm like, well, okay, that's uncalled for. But I feel like I think to me it's the attitude. It's the attitude of just being very dismissive or not even willing to try. That makes me feel like, that's kind of uncalled for and rude. And if you're really loving this man and wanting to spend the rest of your life with him, then he comes from this culture and you should at least try to get to know that culture instead of just like dismissing it. So it seems interesting because the OP here is truly just being like, oh, like, okay, we just give them a toaster. I thought that was really funny because he's like, well, you don't like our traditions, you don't like our food, you don't like our culture. Well, this part of our culture, and I guess we'll just give you a toaster, which is maybe more in line with your culture. That was really funny.
And basically what they're doing is following the future sister-in-law's lead. That's what he said, right? It's like, well, I'm just doing what you have been doing.
I think that's like a really funny, like, there's a saying in Chinese like 以其人之道还治其人之身. It's like I like give back to you the way you gave to me. Like I just like I'm
Well, question to you: if you were the mom, what would you do?
I think that would be difficult because on the one hand, like I do want a harmonious. I guess it depends on like the ultimate goal of the mom. Like, do you want harmony?
But or who doesn't want harmony?
Do you not care?
Like, well, what kind of question is that?
No, because some people are just like, well, I would rather stand my ground than care for like the.
I see.
Like
harmony
have some of the group,
healthy distance.
So I think like maybe I would have a talk with her and just be like, oh, you're not getting this jewelry until you show,
that's
or maybe
so
like until like 5 years down the line of this marriage or something. Like, I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know. I'll just be like, it's not an engagement. It's a wedding gift, but maybe it'll be a marriage gift. I'll just be like, maybe we'll give it to you slowly over time or something. Because I just don't feel like if it's me, I would be like, I need to be okay to gift this, not just because you're like marrying my son, but because I really like think you want to be part of this family.
That's a good point.
Like, but if I don't feel that from you, then I feel like it's kind of dishonest for me to give it. Right. It's kind of like, oh, I'm gonna pass down my like great grandma's like heirloom, and it's like to who? Like to you? And like why if you're just gonna like dismiss it?
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I just feel like it will not, like she will not appreciate the gravity or like the weight of the gift if she's been so demonstrably dismissive of all the other parts of the culture.
Yeah.
So I don't think I would feel right to give the gift.
Yeah. But it's so tricky because the person's
the brother,
the person that made this post,
the OP,
his girlfriend will get the 40-50K jewelry.
That's true. There is a comparison.
Yeah, I think it would be hard.
Be like, well, I like her more. So what are you gonna do?
So it's a tough position for the mom to be in. Yeah, because
you do have to balance it out, because then maybe the brother will feel like he's like less favored. Yeah, because why does my brother's girlfriend get the jewelry and
both the girlfriends are white?
Yeah. So there is a very much like a comparison. I can see how the comparison would be very easy to draw.
Yeah.
But at this point in time, like they're just girlfriend boyfriend. So the OP is not yet proposed to his girlfriend yet. Right? But then and the mom is already saying like, oh, when you get married, I will like give all these things to you. So clearly she likes her better.
Yeah, she is the favorite one.
She is the favorite.
But that's a bold move from the mom, though, I have to say,
to not give it.
Yeah,
it's pretty bold.
Not even like, oh, maybe I'll just give partial. Like a partial package of the jewelry. But she's like, nope, I'm not giving you any.
Wow. Yeah. I'm like, maybe they can just, I don't know. It's hard because either way, like the mom will be seen as like favoring one daughter-in-law over the other, or favoring one son over the other. It's very
depending on who you ask. Some people will think the mom is the TA. Right? True. For the future sister-in-law, she's like, true. What?
Yeah, true. Like from the future sister-in-law's perspective, like the mom can be
a TA,
the TA because of the fact that like, hey, why does this other the other true,
right?
It's a matter of perspective.
This is all just.
But hey, $40-50, that's no, I mean, sorry, $40,000-$50,000 is nothing to scoff at. Like that's a hefty sum. And if you have two, then it's like 100K. So that's just like, that's not pocket change. I mean, not to me. Like, and so it's just like,
is this the regular amount of gifts,
I think,
or jewelry?
Gold is like that. If it's gold, and you're doing like the bracelet with the necklace with the earrings, then I think it will cost that much. Gold is
weddings are
1 ounce of gold now is like 6,000 plus. So imagine it's like 10 ounces of gold or something. I don't know.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, because you have to like shape it into the all that stuff. So I think the numbers check out.
Yeah.
So
wow, weddings are expensive indeed.
Yeah, and this is not even like the actual wedding planning,
not the banquet.
This is just like jewelry. It's just like additional things for the wedding. So so I mean, I don't know. I don't think that OP is the
TA.
It's the TA. No, so it's NTA, right? NTA. But because I think he just planted the seed of like questioning.
I also wonder if that was intentional, or it was just something that
I think it's intentional.
He's like, I'm not gonna chip in, and why are you doing this if
because
she
the
doesn't
mom
appreciate.
Brought up the conversation about the jewelry. It was the mom who did it. So then I think he's just like being like, hey, well then why are we doing this for the sister-in-law who doesn't care
that's
about
a valid
question
or argument.
Well, clearly the mom was convinced. Yeah, like, I mean, clearly
she's like, you're right.
Wow. So I guess what this shows us is that we should be very like open to different cultures, because you never know, you might be losing and costing yourself like 50K without knowing it, and that's we don't want that happening. So so I guess that is a good part of our culture that we have that as a thing, but I don't know. I don't think it's like there's
good because we're gonna get 40-50K of jewelry.
Well, you mean? I don't know. Like no, because it's only the groom. Wait, hold on. It's only the groom side that would give it, so we have to.
It's good for us as the bride.
Yeah. But then it's only if we like marry someone who's Asian who like is like super traditional.
I see, right?
So it's like, well, yeah. Well, who knows? Who knows? If that will be, but yeah, just thought that was an interesting thing. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the last story, last scenario today is, am I the asshole to challenge my girlfriend's Asian family culture? And this has to do with living accommodations, which I think is
the person not Asian or Chinese?
I'll
just let you read first. I
don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think this person is Asian. Yeah. So that's, and the person, they live in America, and I think they are Filipino, like the girlfriend side. Okay, so here we are. My girlfriend and I live with her parents and her brother's wife and child, so basically the whole brother's family, in a large house in the undisputed most expensive housing market in America. So I'm thinking San Francisco. So her and I have been given very little clarity about the reality of the mortgage and utilities, and in a moment of frustration, I voiced my concerns in front of the entire house. My questions were answered honestly about how much the mortgage and property tax and utilities cost, but I was immediately thrown as I realized two things were true. Number one, my girlfriend and I are paying nearly half of all household bills for a small room in the house. And number two, combine our payments with her brother's rent, and that is the entire mortgage plus utilities plus property tax. Her parents are literally paying nothing towards the mortgage and all other common bills. Her parents both work and make good money, so this isn't a fixed income situation. And I proceeded in the same conversation to ask where their household contribution was, and her father and mother both immediately stated the following: that's the way it is. Why would we need to contribute? This is the culture. This is how it is. Don't push this. The conversation devolved into a lot of storming away on the father's part and crying on the mother's part, even though I remained calm and continued to state, I'm just trying to get information and understand. I recognize that these responses are manipulative in nature and try to look past them while holding firm. Eventually, the mother told me that we were expected to pay for her debts accrued in raising my girlfriend and her brother, and that this is the Filipino cultural norm. Personally, I feel that regardless of culture, this is using your children to line your own pockets and simultaneously sap them from having any possibility of saving for their own future. Am I the asshole? Whew. All right. Well, as I would like to say, there's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah. It's really tricky when money is in the picture.
Yeah. And I think it's tricky for the OP because he's literally the only one that's not the family that's living in the house.
Yeah.
It's basically like OP inserted himself and then lives with his whole family, his girlfriend's
with the parents
family.
And the siblings' family.
Yeah. So it's like the parent, the girlfriend, the girlfriend's mom, dad, the girlfriend's brother, the girlfriend's sister-in-law, the girlfriend's nephew or niece.
Yeah.
It's like the whole family, and then OP just inserted himself to live in their family home. So yeah.
I mean, I don't think he's the TA, so NTA. But it's really hard to go against cultural norms.
Yeah.
Especially when parents are involved.
Yeah.
I mean,
this seems to be a common theme.
Right. I mean, the parents have said it, right? Like, this is the way. Do not question us.
Yeah.
And they have the authority in, Asian cultures. So just move out.
Yeah. I agree. I think this is not a fight you're gonna win.
Yeah.
OP, this is one of those things that I'm just like, there's some battles that you just let it be, like, because you're not gonna win this. And I think this is one of them, because think about it this way. It's like, it's their family house from what we gather from this story. And you just like inserted yourself to live there. So they were operating in this way probably before you, and will likely operate in the same way after you. So unless you move out with your girlfriend, and I understand you're saying that this is like, very difficult because it's one of the most expensive places to live in America.
Yeah.
So maybe that's actually, like, practically speaking, not a possibility. But if you can find the option to move out with your girlfriend or to like live outside by yourself without your girlfriend's entire family, that might be the solution to
Yeah.
this.
Otherwise, then you just have to be okay with the situation that
Yeah.
you're paying for their mortgage and then the parents are not paying.
Yeah.
So it's really up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
what can you live with, basically?
Yeah.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
are you willing to sacrifice?
Exactly. And I think that like from the description, it might like of how the breakdown is, like it seems like the brother's family is contributing plus the sister and the girlfriend.
Yeah.
Sorry, and the boyfriend. So OP. Like so even if this person didn't exist, if it's just the girlfriend, like the sister and the brother's family, they would probably still contribute to the house and the mortgage and the property tax and stuff. So with or without the boyfriend in the picture, I think there's already a pre-existing,
Rule.
Yeah. So I don't think it will change with you.
Mhm.
It may be just like lessen the amount that the girlfriend had to
Yeah.
pay
Yeah.
because now you're sharing that with
Yeah.
her. But
This is not something that you can challenge,
yeah,
unfortunately.
I don't think
It will be
so.
a futile attempt.
Yeah, because so they mentioned utilities and um property tax and the mortgage, right? So utilities being that they're paying for half the household bills just for a small room in the house. So they're paying like let's say for the because they're two people, right? Versus the five people. Like so
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
like the mom, dad, and then the brother's family, the three
Right.
people in the
Right.
brother's family. So then I think in that way it's like it's maybe not that fair, quote unquote, because it's not split equitably. Like the household bills, if they're paying half of it and they're only two out of the people in the house, it doesn't seem that fair. But at the same time, like I don't think this is a battle you're gonna win. So
Yeah.
either move out or
Yeah.
move out with the girlfriend or do something else.
Yeah. But you're NTA.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. You're not an
yeah.
asshole. I don't think you're the TA. It's just
how it is.
yeah, there are some things that you just I feel like they're like fossilized. Like you
Yeah.
just can't change them.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I just don't think that this is a battle you're gonna win. But I wanted to bring this one up because the idea of like living with your parents or living with your in-laws is also like very common in Asian culture. I think less common now in mainland China because people tend to like young couples tend to like live on their own. Primarily because usually sometimes their parents or grandparents like still live in like the countryside or like
Oh,
further
okay.
out in like small towns or counties and not in the big cities where the young people live and work and find their family and their love. And so by that dynamic, they by default have to live in two separate places, right? But traditionally and even still now, there's a lot of families that are living, like the parents and the young couple are living under one roof, and with that comes so many um points of tension, maybe I'll
Yes.
say. And I think it's very difficult
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
But practically speaking, maybe financially it's just
Yeah.
not a feasible thing.
Ooh,
Yeah.
it's hard.
Yeah. Would you think the scenario would change if the parents were the ones, like, because I think in Asian, like, let's say we just like to use the example of China, let's say the parents live, like, they bought their home and there's no mortgage, it's mortgage free now, and then they're inviting the young couple to like live with them. So then it's the same scenario of like, the wedding thing where
Yeah.
they're the ones that have paid for the mortgage, this
Yeah.
is their house and you're living in it. So then where would you say you have the speaking power? Like, do you have no voice, do you have no autonomy to like voice your opinion? But then the thing is, you're living there, so it is kind of your living quarters and your privacy in your home, but it's technically not your home because the parents paid for everything,
Yeah. But in what way would they need to have a say, though? Like how they arrange or like decorate the place, you mean?
No, in many ways. Like maybe let's say the mom is like very naggy or very like
Oh,
or
like
very,
dictating how they should,
yeah, dictating what they should do, how they should
like in
eat,
their
what,
marriage and stuff.
yeah, yeah, or like,
Oh my
you know,
gosh.
like I think it's more common for the wife to live with the husband's family
Mm-hmm.
than the other way
Right,
around.
right.
Just more from like traditional like historic reasons and whatnot. But like, so let's say there's the mom-in-law and the
Mm,
wife is
mm.
always always the contention, right?
Yeah,
Let's say
yeah,
like the mom-in-law treats the son, like coddles the son, let's say,
yeah.
but then the wife is the one that's trying to like insert herself to be like, no, as my husband you should do XYZ for
Mm-hmm.
me. And then the mom
Oh.
is like, nah, like you don't need to do that, like I will do that, or whatever else, you know. I can think of like a million
Yeah, yeah,
scenarios,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
the fact of the matter is like the wife might have less agency by the very fact that she lives under the roof of her mom-in-law,
Yeah, that is possible.
right?
Yeah.
So then it's very difficult to kind of like
Have
over,
autonomy.
yeah,
Yeah.
override that tension. But maybe practically speaking you actually don't have money, so you can't
Yeah.
you can't live independently.
Or maybe you can live independently but in a, less ideal
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
situation,
yeah.
but maybe that's better for your mental health or your marriage.
Right. But maybe the husband is not on board with that. Right. Or
Yeah.
like be like, "Oh, what's the use? Like what's the."
Yeah, like we can live comfortably under my parents'
Yeah.
roof.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but there is a cost for that.
Yeah, yeah.
So
No
again,
free
what
lunch.
what what can you live with? What kind of
Yeah.
sacrifice are you willing to make?
Yeah. So I can see how, so back to the conversation at hand where we talked about how, you know, OP, this is a battle that you should not
Yeah.
win. Like this is, you're not going to win this one.
Yeah.
I feel like in some ways if it was the scenario that I just described with the wife and the husband living under the parents' roof, like sometimes that's also like a battle that you can't win,
Yeah.
even
Yeah,
though
I agree.
despite the fact that you're, you know, a full-fledged adult, you know, married,
Yeah.
so you have like, you know, a role to
Yeah.
play as a husband or as a wife, but sometimes I think it's like the
Yeah.
proverbial like umbilical cord is not
Yeah.
severed yet,
And
so
hierarchically speaking, if that's even
is that a
a
word?
word.
Sure,
Like in
sure,
the
that's a word.
hierarchy, like
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
like the parents are still, on top.
yeah. So
So they
it's
have
I
the
think it's
authority.
really difficult because unless you are able to kind of confront them and stand up to them and be like,
No, don't do
no,
that. They're Asian
like,
parents.
yeah, like,
It will
because,
ruin the relationship even more.
well, you never know, because sometimes, well, I don't know,
I mean, not that I've been married before, so I don't really know, but
but
yeah,
yeah,
it sounds, even just like hearing you
it's
say
daunting,
confront the
right?
parents, I'm like, ooh.
Intake of
Drama.
breath,
Yeah.
yeah, it is scary. So it really is not an ideal situation. So personally speaking, I think if it were possible, just live as like
Independently.
independently, like you and your husband or your spouse or
Yeah.
whatever, just live on your own.
Yeah.
And then the parents can live close by. They
Yeah.
can visit, but they
Some
cannot
boundaries
live.
are actually healthy. It's better for
Yes.
everybody, not just for the couple.
Yeah.
So
Like amen,
yeah.
hallelujah to that. Like healthy boundaries. And I just feel like, so maybe this is a personal example, but like just speaking for myself, like after I came back from living abroad, and then there was a brief period, I mean also due to COVID, where I had to live at home, but then afterwards I was like, nah, I gotta get out of here. I gotta find my own place. And not, this is not a disparagement in any way to my parents, who are lovely people, and they're very generous with their time and
Mm.
their space
Resources.
and resources. And I did have like, you know, independence to like do what I wanted to do. But I was just like, yeah, I think, you know, there are some things where once you've outgrown, you just can't go back. And I feel like this is one of those things. And I think that like my parents understood, but they also were a bit perplexed. They're just like, you know, there's tons of people that live at home with their parents. Like, what's so bad about that? Because I think in Western culture, there's a stigma to like,
Yeah.
oh, you're like
You're still living
in
with
your
your
20s or in
parents?
your
Yeah.
30s, you still live
Yeah.
with your parents. Like, what's up with you? Like, are you just like an infant? Like, what's going on? And I do think that personally, I kind of agree with that, actually, because I'm like, you're a fully fledged grown human being. Like, come on, man. Like, like, be an adult, right? But on the other hand, I'm just like, well, that's pretty close-minded of me as well, because there's a lot of like cultures that always like live in the family, and also it saves money. It saves a lot of money. So I'm like, yeah, there is a very practical, element to this as
in
well.
Indonesia, people don't typically move out until they get married.
And
when people hear about my friends who are still living at home, like I have to give them the cultural context. I'm like, yeah, it's just because they're not married yet. It's not because they're, like a
babies.
Burden to the society.
Yeah, exactly. And it's very normalized in Asian culture, and so even for my mom, I think she lived in her parents' home until she married, and then she moved in with my dad. So she's never, I was like, the one day I was really struck by the fact, I'm like, oh my God, you've never had a roommate. You've never lived.
She's never lived alone.
Your own. Yeah. And I was just like so shocked because of this realization. I was like, wow, like that's amazing. Like I just was like, wow, that really is possible.
Yeah.
So it was just like our lives are very different now. And but back to the point of why I had to leave, and I was just like, I think I need my personal space and I need to feel more independent. And I just feel like by living at home, I just feel I don't have that sense of independence. And I mean, my parents are great and I have a very good relationship with them,
and they don't spoil you either.
No, I don't think they do. They very much just do their own thing. So it's very much
leave you on your own.
Yeah, you do your own thing, I do my own thing. But even still, I just feel like it's our lives should have like an appropriate distance. And I think, as you said earlier, like boundaries that are healthy, right? And I think that is necessary. But maybe this is just my thinking and not from like an Asian perspective, because maybe like many Asian families feel like, oh no, like the more the merrier, we should all live in one big house and like be there to support one another and have like a lot of time to spend with one another, which is also a very valid reason. So there's no like quote unquote like one right way to like do things. But it is interesting because with living together in close quarters, by default there is that tension. That conflict, that opportunity for conflict that will inevitably appear more often than not. So just thought it was an interesting thing. So I guess this one is also NTA. So we had no TAs.
I mean, there are TAs in the story, but not the person,
but not OP.
Who posted
that's
it.
True. That's true.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I think we've been very, very generous with our, our judgment.
Do you know if the comments are pretty much aligned with our?
I think so. I think
judgment.
So. I think they're pretty aligned. But then sometimes they're harsher with their words about who is the real TA. But generally, I think we're in agreement. But I think it's important to have that cultural context and background, because some of the things that we think is like, oh, really like asshole behavior is actually like you just don't understand the frame of reference.
Yes.
So in their mind, they're not the asshole because they're just doing what they think is like normal or right. And so I think it's a very
and truly there are just some things that you can't challenge.
Yeah. All right.
So
well, I think we learned a lot today about culture and sharing about that. So
it's nice to talk about other people for a change.
Maybe we should do more of these. I think we could have different themes too. I was thinking about like other potential topics as well. All right. Well, until next time. Bye.